of 9. So what you have to know or be given on the test is the equation of a circle. Do you have this written down? And if not, you'll definitely want to write it down.
Yeah, I'm writing it down right now. Plus y minus k equals r squared. All right, got it written down.
All right, so now it's like, well, what are these things that I'm giving you? The vertex is h and then k. H comes before k in the alphabet. Might be a reasonable way to remember that. It's analogous to x comes before y in the alphabet. Don't think too hard about that, but it does help to know. So you're going to substitute those values in for h and then k. The radius is 9, so you have those three values that you are given, and then you just substitute them in. It's really not that hard, but if you don't know the equation, or if you forget to simplify the equation, you will not get it right. So there's a couple of things to do to simplify the equation. The first is the double negatives right here. And the second is the 9 squared. All right, so your final answer here is y plus 5 squared equals 81. Yeah.
All right. So with that, am I going to continue? Am I going to?
No, you're done. This is it.
All right. And then
this is your final answer.
Would I somehow put, I mean, I won't be expected to do this, but how would I put that onto a graph?
So that's actually a reasonable thing to do. Very reasonable thing to do. Okay. So here's how you would do that. Let me write this down. 12 minus 5. Okay. So the first thing is you have to draw your graph appropriately. I'm not going to have enough room on this. So let me do this differently. Let me go real quick to Desmos to graph the first thing, and then I'll be able to zoom out enough to get us a nice graph. So
Okay,
you go to the center. 12 minus 5. So you first plot that center. That's what I was trying to do, but I knew I was going to run out of real estate on my graph here. So I was trying to be careful here. Your screen sharing is loading. Are you not seeing my screen?
I currently am. I don't see the Desmos, but I see the thing that was being shown before.
Interesting. Okay. Let me just let's go back to that.
Oh, now I see the Desmo on the other paper. It's like 12 negative 5. It's in red.
Interesting. Okay, I don't know why it's not, but okay. Do you see my screen now?
I do.
Okay, cool. So here's the center, and your radius is the direction that you go out, up, down, left, right, north, south, east, west. So your radius is 9. So you would count up 9. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And why is the radius 9 because it was the other part was like 9s? Oh, it says it word problem.
They have to give it to you. But if you're given the equation, you'd have to take the square root of 81 to find that it's 9. Okay, so if you find that the number is so large you can't graph it, remember to take a square root. So then you go down 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I didn't get one more. So just you'll add an extra little thing there, little dot there, and you go right 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and you're just adding. So I mean, this is over here at 21. You're going left, and it ends up being at 3. And this is maybe the hardest part, is to actually draw that nice smooth circle.
Yeah,
that goes through all the points. That doesn't look like a alien head or a, misshapen soccer ball or something.
Yeah.
But yes, the answer to your question is yes, you can graph it. You just need a center, which you were given, and the radius. You need the radius.
All right, so I guess that one was a really easy one to graph.
Yes. Are you seeing my screen?
Yeah, I am. I see radius, center, and then the circle around the 12 negative.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I keep asking because there's a weird message I'm seeing from Zoom.
No, no, it's all good. Yeah, there's
Okay.
like I know like if I put my cursor over your like tutoring by Matthew Zoom account, it has like yellow bars connectivity, so it's probably just
Oh, really?
yeah. But I
Okay.
hear you fine and I
Let
see you
give
fine.
me give me give me 30 seconds to fix that, please. I know
Um,
why that's happening. I'll be right back.
sounds good.
All right, I'm back. Apologize if
All good.
I don't know why this is happening, but okay. So the next, do you want me to give you one like this right-hand equation of a circle,
Uh,
or do you want us to move on to something else?
honestly, I think I'm just good to move on to something else. That one, I didn't realize how simple that one is. It kind of just tells you everything about it.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah. Now, let me pull up a question from another student that I I tend to think will be something you might see. So can we just it's related to this. Nothing is loading right now.
Yeah, nothing's as
Technology
annoying as slow Wi-Fi. You don't appreciate
technology.
it till it's slow.
Yeah, technology problems. Okay, do you see a problem now that says center 2, 4 point on circle minus 316?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so this is the other style of problem that you might see. Do you know if for sure it's going to be exactly like what you were given, or if it could possibly be something else?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
So my question is like I only want to go through this problem if you think your instructor will give you something different than what's on your review.
Honestly, I think that's like a question I'd be expecting.
This new one here.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So th they give you h and k. The center is always hk. So that's the x minus h squared plus the y minus k squared equals r squared.
Hmm. And that's for the that's the like formula of a
That's
circle,
the equation of a circle.
equation of a circle.
Yeah.
And then okay, so I guess I just put x minus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals
Okay, so this is where the problem is. The radius is not given. Okay.
mhm,
Now, if you look at like the graph of this, so here's the graph. Let's say 2, 4, let's say 2, 4 is there roughly,
mhm.
minus 316 is there. Okay. The distance from the center to a point on the circle is called the radius. So you have to find the distance between the 2 points.
Would I do that with rise over run?
You have to use the distance formula. So y2 minus y1 squared, x2 minus x1 squared, square root. Did you see that in class over the last day and a half?
Um, I'm not. Mm, let me check my. Not something kind of similar. I think it's like I can read it out to you. It's I'll just use random number like the numbers in this as an example because I don't have the blanks for it. But like x squared minus 6x plus y squared minus 10y plus 35 equals 5.
Yeah, so that is that's we have to complete the square. What this one is it allows you to find the distance between the center and a circle. So let's
Mhm.
just do it real quick. The the ordered pairs are x1 and y1, and then x2 and y2. And you're
X2.
just putting those into the formula here. So it's like 16 minus 4 squared plus minus 3 minus 2 squared square rooted. So you end up getting 12 squared plus minus 5 squared square rooted. That's 144 plus 25.
Mhm.
Square root of 169 is 13, and that's your radius. So it's a lot of work to find the radius, but it's doable.
It's doable, yeah.
Yeah. So once you get your radius, so like in the problem we did earlier, the radius was given. Here you had to calculate the radius. You now know that the radius is 13,
Mhm.
and you can substitute that into the equation for R. You're doing all of that so that you know what the value of R is.
All right, yeah, that seems like something pretty good to know. I'm assuming I'll probably maybe learn that after my quiz or something. I don't know. I haven't seen that. That seems
Yeah,
pretty.
I really hope they don't, throw something new at you. But that would be it. There were.
All right, yeah.
Okay, so let's do number 8.
All right, yeah, number 8.
So
Number
8
8,
is, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
the hardest part with problem like 8 is the domain range part for me, but
Are you comfortable with how you found the center? Minus 2 comma
um
1.
-2 comma 1. I think so, yeah, just because I was like, oh, I know like from a problem kind of like 9, I know that like I just have to switch the signs. Like the numbers there are just gonna stay the
Exactly.
same.
Yeah.
So I was pretty
Uh,
comfortable with that.
Good. So the radius, so I would have liked to have seen the square root of 4 equals 2 for the
Uh-huh.
radius, just to make that clear.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
but I'm
all
being a
happy
little
that my teacher didn't tell us about that.
I'm being a little picky here now. I'm gonna just jump down and we're gonna look at the graph together here, but I want to make it a little bit bigger.
Uh-huh.
What I feel like is lacking here are some like units like this.
Yeah, I didn't write any
Minus some.
annotations on it.
Okay. Yeah, and so because I don't know where these points are, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, if you had labeled the center, you're like, all right, the center is minus 2 comma 1. So when you go up 2, that's affecting the y value. So that means it's minus 2 comma 3.
Uh-huh.
And then we're going down 2 from the 1, that's minus 2 minus 1. And I would expect all these to be in there when you're graphing it. Because it says, well, okay. Then going to the right affects the x values. That becomes 0 comma 1. Because
Mhm.
you're adding 2 to it, you're just adding the radius each time. And when you go left, this leftmost point on the circle is minus 4 comma 1.
-4 comma 1.
Okay. And this helps you to answer what you were asking me before, the domain and range.
Yeah,
The domain is left to right.
left to right.
So what is the leftmost x value?
-4.
So it's -4 less than or equal to x. What's the rightmost x value?
1.
X value.
Oh, sorry, 0. I don't know how I misread that. Yeah, so then
Similarly for the
oh, so it'll always have like the equal no, sorry, what's the triangle line called again? I know that I
it's
forgot.
an inequality. It's some sort of an inequality.
Inequality.
It's a compound inequality, but it's
So, oh, sorry,
go
go
ahead.
on.
For the range, it's now the bottom to the top. So you're going to do the same thing with the y values now. It's the smallest.
-1 and
Okay,
then 3.
there you have it.
And is it always like smallest to biggest?
Yes. So
Okay.
let's go back to this one here. Let's see if you can find the domain and range of this circle. And I really only care about the inequalities. So,
Mhm.
but I know you gotta do the whole, x such that x stuff, but really it's just to getting those numbers right.
With that problem, is the radius 5?
The radius here is 9.
9? Okay. Radius 9.
And we're looking at, I mean, that they are on the grid points. This one's
Mhm.
maybe the only one that you can't see, but it's, you can count 11,
Yeah.
12, 13, 14.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 12 and 4.
For what are you giving me? The
Oh,
ordered
for the
pairs?
north one.
Okay, so if you want to give me the ordered pairs, that's fine. 12, 4.
And then the east is 21 and -5. And
Okay,
then for the south one, it is um 12 and -14.
good,
Then for the west, it is 3 and -5.
good.
So then I guess for domain, that's where it's like x/xer.
Mm-hmm. But give
And
me the
then
number. Yeah, give me the numbers though. That's really what
the
we care about.
number for x, the most left would be 3.
Okay,
And then the biggest would be 21, or largest, I should say. And
yep,
then -14 and +4 for the range. -14 being the smallest, of course.
got it. Okay. How is the connection now? If you can tell me, is it improved at all? Or is it still the same?
Um,
It's kind of,
Definitely, yeah, like that makes a lot more sense now.
no. Is the connection okay between us? You mentioned some yellow bars you were seeing on the
Oh, yeah,
connections.
yeah. Here, let me see if I can check the bar thing. It's not letting me see the bars anymore, so I'm assuming they might be gone.
Okay.
But the
All
connection's
right.
great for me.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So that is 7 and 8. Do we need to do 9
Um,
or a
is
problem like
everything I
9?
have for 9 correct is my question, because I think that's like probably the easiest since it's kind of like algebra. Or with actually, no, I do have a question with 9. Um, so I have the center and the radius for it. But with the center and radius, am I also supposed to figure out what the domain and range is for that problem as well, or?
Yeah, it does say that. So the completing the square is really close. Let me let me work through this problem for you, make some comments, reminders more than anything.
Uh-huh. Because I know I definitely didn't write like everything in super great detail for it, but
Yeah, so what you did is really close. You're just, there's some sign errors and it just a minor thing as well. So you move you subtract 4 from both sides. That's
uh-huh.
to start. And then you group the x terms. So x squared and minus 4x are going to be grouped together. So that becomes x squared minus 4x. Leave a space though. That's maybe something you didn't see or remember from class. Then you group the y terms together. So that's the y squared minus 10y. Leave a space equals -4. Okay. Now the one little reminder that you need is what goes in parentheses for x squared minus 4x is half of this -4. It takes on the sign. So it becomes x minus 2 squared.
So x squared minus 4x, y squared minus 10y, x
Sorry,
minus 2 squared
I'll say that again. Let me get caught up to that.
equals -4. Um, I guess my only question with that, sorry, is what are the blanks representing once again? Is it just
We're
like
gonna
the
fill that. We're gonna fill those numbers in.
okay, all right, sounds good. All right, yeah, so I'm up to date with all that.
Okay. Now, what I was trying to tell you is that the whole completing the square thing is you go from this part up here, including the blank, and you turn it into a binomial squared. And what goes in parentheses is x minus 2. The reason it's negative is because it's half of -4.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be writing it as positive, it would be negative.
Yes. And then to answer your question, which is an important one, it's like, well, what goes in the blank? It's this -2 squared, which is now +4,
+4.
but you have to add it to the other side as well.
Yeah. All right. And
And
then I
then
guess
similarly,
I'd write like y minus 5 squared. And then that would be +25. And then write +25 once again over there. So then that would be 0 plus 25, just 25.
yep.
And then
So this is your equation. I don't
that's
know if
my
it asks for that.
equation.
That's your equation of a circle in standard form.
All right.
So see how the instructions say use completing the square to find the equation of the circle in standard form. Like this is
Yeah.
part A. Part A we got. Okay.
Mhm.
Now you have to find the center. We'll call that like part B. So your center, could you tell me your center from this equation, please?
My center for this equation would be +2 and +5.
Good.
And
And
then
your radius?
my radius would be 5, I'm
Good.
assuming. All right.
Yes,
And I square root the 25 to figure it out, correct?
that's correct.
All right. And then,
So now to find domain and range, we need to graph this thing. Now this one's a little bit nicer to graph.
yeah, just
Uh,
2 over 5 up. And then I just got to do 5 around. So then that would be like 2 and 10 for the north.
yeah,
And 7 and 5 for the east. And it would be negative, no, it'd be 2 and -3. Wait, no, 0. Sorry, yeah. I don't know how I messed that one up. And then for the west, that would be -3 and 5. And then
yes.
that would be,
And,
I mean, I
and
guess
you're
label.
only labeling the points so that you can quickly find the domain.
Mhm.
I guess it's nice to have them. When you take pre-calculus and you do conic sections, you have to label all these points again. I guess it's a good habit. I'll remind you of this in let's see, in 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, but yeah, give me the domain whenever you're ready, or the range whenever you're ready.
Um, so then that would be main. -37. Domain would be -37. It's like -3, uh, or symbol. I can't remember exactly how to write it. I'm gonna.
Less than or equal to, as long as you can write it, that's important.
Mhm.
What's the maximum X value?
The maximum X would be 7,
Good.
and
And you
then
need all that other stuff, the X such that X is an element of the real numbers,
yeah,
curly
I got that
braces.
down in my brain. And then for range, it would be you're starting with the lowest, so I guess 0 and 10.
You got it.
All right, not too tricky.
Yeah. So we're halfway through our lesson. We've done all the circle problems. Do you want any more circle stuff, or do you want us to go
Um,
back to the I don't know, we'll say tangents and angles and arcs and stuff?
I would like to do that. Just like kind of stuff on that other side of the paper I sent you tonight is a good example of just stuff I kind of want to go over, and then we'll just see where it takes us, I guess.
Is it okay if we redo these problems, or do you want me to find ones like this?
I'm honestly fine with redoing ones like this, or I mean these exact problems,
Okay.
and then hopefully I didn't write too much on them.
That's okay. It's okay. Uh so all right. The the key here, we talked about this last night, is that there's a point that's outside the circle and there are two tangents. And
Mhm.
the tangents are congruent. the tangents are congruent. So you might even, if you're taking notes, you would maybe want to get that down. Tangents are congruent.
Tangents are congruent. And that's where the line's like meeting the circle.
But only in one place. Like it bounces
Mhm.
off, or
Yeah.
it's not really the best analogy, but it's just touches. I mean, there's actually some really cool in-class activities for doing this. You put a circle in the center of the room, and you have everyone go pick a different spot in the room, and you pick a tape measure to one side or the other, and you recognize that no matter where you stand, no matter where you are outside the circle, the tangents are always the same.
Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I'm not big on that stuff myself, but like if I were in a classroom, there's really good value to that. But nevertheless, you get down to being able to solve this kind of equation. And my question to you is, do you recall how to solve an equation like this when there's a fraction involved?
I think I just multiply everything by 3.
Yes. And that's
And
because it's the bottom number. So
yeah.
it's like I would divide first, like I would say, oh, that cancels with the 3, so it's 2x plus the 9 equals the 12x minus the minus 21. If you need to, you can show the multiplication
Mhm.
as an intermediate step.
And then, yeah, I guess I'd just have it, once I finish that, that would be 2x minus 12x equals negative 21.
Yeah, and so you start moving things around, and you end up getting x equals 3.
3.
So the algebra is not meant to be difficult in this class.
Mhm.
So if you get a weird answer, check your work. Just make sure that it's right.
Yeah. Make sure it's simplistic. Um,
Okay, now I'm gonna redraw this. I think. Yeah, let me redraw it for the next part for W.
yeah.
So for the next part, you still have these two tangents. Okay, and you have a center, C. Do you remember? Let me actually label this. Do you remember what the angle measure is at C and at A?
90 degrees.
Yeah, so a tangent to a radius is 90 degrees. Okay, now we want to find W, but W is actually the same as this angle in here, the central
Yeah.
angle. And you might say, well, how does that help? Well, this is a quadrilateral. So we know that the 4 angles must add up to 360. So the W plus the 90 plus the 90 plus the 54 equals 360. There is a shortcut you'll get in the next part of this course, but
Oh,
for now you'll have to be subjected to this.
So I guess I just would have to add those together and subtract it by 360.
Yeah, so you got 180, 234.
234 minus 360, that would be 116.
126.
126. And then, okay, so my question is, do I keep it as 126, or am I going to divide it into 2?
So it's a central angle. The central angle is the same as the arc. It's the inscribed angle that you cut in half.
So therefore, it would just remain 126.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the answer is 126.
Okay. All right, cool. That's because I knew there was one of those angles where it's like the same in there, but I was just So I was almost guessing that like W is 54, but I was like, that's just not right. So I didn't really know how to answer that one, but now I do. Do you think I could get one more kind of like that?
Just like this problem?
Yeah, like just pretty similar to it.
Okay, sure. Yeah, let me do that. So I'll change it a little bit though. Here is scenario. God, that's bad. Okay. Okay, so I want you to find this angle there. X.
Um, all right. So under that P D. Is A 60 degrees?
Yes.
Okay. Um, would X be 120 degrees?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So B and D are obviously 90 and 90, A is 60, and then X and C are 180.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, yeah, no, sorry, not 180. I meant 240.
Wait a second. Oh, I'm sorry, say it again.
Sorry, yeah, I just totally misspoke there. So B and D are both 90, A is 60, and then X is 240.
No, no. 60 plus 90 plus 90 plus X equals 360.
Okay, wait, how did I?
You
Okay,
had
so
it right. You told me that
180,
X is 120 to start.
120. All right, sorry, yeah, I didn't write that one part down, so I was just looking at my steps to it. I wrote the like 180 plus 60 is 240, and then I
Okay.
did subtraction for it.
Now there's kind of a related problem here, which is what is the value of Y?
Mhm.
Okay. Now you just told me that X is 120, which means that this arc is also 120. Y is the inscribed angle from 120. So what would Y become?
Um, Y would, I guess, would it also be the inscribed angle?
It's the inscribed angle, but like, and let me draw it here. So
Oh,
it's,
half of it.
yeah.
And then I'd look at it like,
So Y is half of 120. I mean, that's all I'm trying to get you to
oh,
say.
yeah, 60.
60. Okay, good. Um, all right. All right, so can we move on to number two?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so number two, kind of an interesting question. Lots of things going on here. It says that AB is tangent to both circles. So when I see that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna immediately put in the 90 degrees. There's a
Uh-huh.
90 degrees and there's a 90 degrees. Like I'm not gonna mess around and somehow forget that. All right, now the next thing is that it says the measure of arc, major arc AMC. So it's a path A to M to C is 295 degrees.
Uh-huh.
And if you were to go all the way around the circle, it
It
would
would
be
be
360.
60.
So what is that missing piece?
That means we know that C to A is 105 degrees.
but the whole thing is 360.
Uh-huh. Um, so 295 minus 360. I mean 360 minus 295, that's 65?
Yeah. So this is 65 degrees. The arc is 65 degrees. What is the central angle?
Uh, P?
Yeah, what's the central angle P if this arc is 65 degrees?
Um, it would have to be,
Don't overthink it here. Look back at the previous problem. See how W and W are the same?
uh-huh.
The central angle is the arc, is the measure of the arc.
Is the arc. So is it also 65?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Now
Oh, wait,
sometimes,
yeah, I'm looking at that now. Like I was not looking at that properly. Yeah, that's 65.
so sometimes you gotta disconnect from the drawing
Uh-huh.
and you're like, okay, that's 65 degrees. This is a triangle. By the way, this is PAX. So this other angle is 25 degrees because the angles have to add up to 180, right?
Uh-huh.
65, I'm sorry, except that doesn't, it's 15 degrees. And that's like, sometimes you have to do that to be able to answer the next part of the question. So is that okay that this angle right here is 15?
Yeah, because 90 plus 65 plus 15
Yeah.
creates.
So if I extend the drawing a little bit more, which other angle is also 15 degrees in this triangle?
X.
So the vertical angles are congruent. So on this other side, it's 15. Do you see that? 15 and
Yeah.
15. Okay. Which means we can find this final angle because all three angles in the triangle have to add up to
Well,
180.
so we
So
got
this one is
90,
6.
15, 65.
Yes.
So,
Sorry, I apologize. I'm messing up badly here. This is 25.
uh-huh.
I just hit like a wall where I just got where
Oh, it's all good. We all do it.
lost everything. So that's 25 and then that's 65.
Mhm.
So now it asks for measure of angle BQX, BQX, like that. So we're looking for the one we just found, which is 65 degrees.
And then, okay, so is that triangle, I mean, that circle basically just a very small version of the other one with the same amount of.
Yes,
Well,
it's a similar triangle.
okay. All right, yeah, I guess that problem, once you kind of get into it, it's not actually that hard. It looks a little like intimidating with the different shapes on it like that, but
Yes, it really does. But it's not bad at all. Okay, you ready to go on to the next problem here, number 3?
yeah.
All right, so number 3, they only give you 95 degrees, okay? But this 95 degrees is a central angle, which means that you immediately know the measure of the arc.
Mm-hmm. So
What is the measure of the arc?
95 degrees.
95 degrees, okay? The measure of the arc. So you got to be careful here because we're talking about angles, not lengths. I guess you'll get into that in the next section or two. That's you got to always know central angle, same angle. If they give you this angle on the outside, it's the central angle. This 95 and this B make a linear pair.
And that linear pair 95 plus b equals 180 would have to be,
And that's why you said, oh, B is 85.
yeah.
Now I know it doesn't ask for it, but let's say this was a W out here.
Uh-huh.
what is the measure of W, angle W?
85.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 85,
Now,
95.
now to find C is maybe the most difficult. One of the strategies we've talked about a lot in this course is sometimes you got to add or subtract lines. This one you need to subtract.
Uh-huh.
So if you just write C, that's angle C, and do you see how the 95 degrees up here is the inscribed angle arc? So this A 95, see how it hits? Let me get those two red, make some red dots here. Red dot, red dot, red dot, red dot.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, so this is an inscribed angle, which means that C is half of 95.
And that would be like 47.5 or something like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
47.5, half of it. Huh. Okay.
What do you not like about that?
I don't know. I just have I struggle with locating when there's like a inscribed angle, like in a problem.
Yeah, and if you notice, I had to redraw it to see it because there's too many lines in this other in this initial one. Like this line right here is extra, and you've got a lot of writing in here.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to sort of
Think
draw it
of it.
off to the side and see if you can, like, pick it out that way.
Yeah. So not every single one of these would have an inscribed, but this is an example of it.
Yeah, so since the inscribed seem to be causing you some pain and suffering, let's go to number 6 next.
All
And
right.
I'll just draw it fresh because you've got a lot of things on there that may or may not help. So here we go. There's A, boom, that's D, and that's B. And it gives you 80 degrees. Nope, I'm sorry, one more line here. 80 degrees and 70 degrees.
Uh,
Now, do you remember what you found first when you did this?
um,
Because I'm sort of drawn to this triangle. I just want to just ask if that's
I mean, I know that it has to be 180 total.
okay. So that's 30 degrees.
Yeah. And then,
Okay, so just go ahead and just pause there for a moment. That's good. You get the triangle here. So there's 3 arcs that we want to find. Okay, and I'm gonna start with this one, A to B, but I'm gonna redraw it. I'm gonna redraw this circle so that you can see it. So here is A to B again. What is the angle in this lower part down here? Sorry, now you can't see that. Darn it. Stop. Not you. Silly
yeah, it's
computer.
all good.
Okay, what is this angle down here where the cursor is?
It's a 30-degree angle.
30 degrees. So what is the measure of the arc when it's an inscribed?
It is 30,
That's for a central angle.
60.
60. Okay, so do you have a quiz tomorrow or is it the next day?
It is unfortunately tomorrow.
Okay, so you've got to really be clear, maybe a note card, difference between inscribed and vertical.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to write that down and check it in all my classes.
All right, so now let's do another one here. Let's say we're going from B to D. Okay, and I'm redrawing the triangle because the visual really helps here.
Yeah.
So now the yellow is the same arc,
Uh,
and the inscribed angle is the 80. Do you see where I'm getting those numbers from?
yeah,
And
and then that would,
I'm not drawing one of the lines to make it easier. What would
yeah,
this
I see that.
what's this one on the outside
Oh,
here?
that'd be 160.
Good. So if you need to, you can come back and relabel your original.
Mhm.
So that last one here, switch to magenta. That's really bad.
It's all good.
But you can see that goes with the 70.
Yeah, and that 70 is going up to that A and also the D to make it.
Yes.
And you
So
multiply that
140.
to make it 140.
Okay, now last thing that's really important here is that if you go all the way around the circle, what should it add up to?
360, and it
So
does do that.
there's your check.
1460.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, I think I got it. Maybe.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, maybe, sort of, kind of. Yeah. Um, it looks like for number 5, just grab this one. You got tired and you didn't finish it. Just want to make sure you know how to solve a quadratic in case it comes up again. So this is good. X squared plus 10 equals minus 12x minus 10. X squared plus 12x equals, so actually you want to bring that 20 over, back over to the left. So it's going to be x squared plus 12x plus 20 equals 0. So you're really close here. So when you factor, you always try factoring first. You're trying to find two numbers that multiply to 20, but add up to 12.
Mhm. I guess you could say, oh yeah, 10 and 2.
Okay. So now you set each of these equal to 0. This is all review from last year. This is stuff that you learned in Algebra 1. X is minus 10 and X is minus 2. Now you're supposed to check your answers. Check your answers. And it may be that they don't both work.
Uh-huh.
And you might be like, well, what are you talking about? They should both work. Well, they should. That's a dangerous thing here to say.
Yeah.
Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to go to the Desmos scientific calculator and to do this. So let's say that X is minus 10. Okay. And the first one was X squared plus 10X. Okay. And see how you get 0 for that?
Uh-huh.
And then the other one was minus 12X minus 10. And you see I get 110. Those are not the same.
Yeah.
So that is not a solution. But if you try -2, what is going on? Oh, I messed up here. X squared plus, oh, I apologize.
No,
So
it's
we
all
got
good.
minus 10. 10 gives you 110 and 110 for both of them.
Yeah.
And then when you try, -2, oh, it does work as well.
Oh,
They actually
okay.
both work. But you're supposed to check them because sometimes they don't both work.
Yeah, too bad I can't use Desmos during the test.
Yeah, really would be nice for that.